What does it take to develop people and culture? In this video, we're talking to DJ Eihusen of Chief Industries and how they developed company culture that has lasted 3 generations. So DJ, I appreciate you joining me today. I wanted to take a little bit of walk back. One of the things I haven't talked about a lot is the history of Chief Carriers.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Honored to be here today. Chief Carriers, a proud member of our company since 1973, 50 years in the making, and I feel like we're just now really hitting our stride. Pretty exciting.
It is, and we need to mention that Chief Industries is celebrating a huge milestone this year with 70 years.
Yeah, 70 years. 1954 is when our company was founded. In fact, we're out here at Husker Harvest Days in Grand Island, Nebraska, celebrating that event throughout this week, and just such a proud history and heritage that we all have. Certainly, Chief Carriers is a critical part of that overall family of business.
Could you briefly walk us through the history of Chief Industries, how it started, and kind of the years when everything kicked off?
Yeah, so in 1954, we remodeled homes, did some home building, and then after that, we started putting up grain bins. We are in the ag capital of the world here in Nebraska, and then Chief Buildings followed that, housing, and all of these other business units, 7 of which comprise our company, started to come along. And then in 1973, your group made their presence known to our company 50 years ago.
So what do you think the importance was to add a transportation unit?
Yeah, great question. You know, when you look at our company, primarily we're a manufacturer. We build things, right? And so you might look at the logistics, the carrier side, and say, well, how does that puzzle piece fit in there? But really it fits in a very complementary way. Many years ago, we were bringing in all the raw materials here to central Nebraska. No easy feat. We were subcontracting a majority of that out. And then when you're done, you have all the product that has to go out to the end customer as well. And so, you know, by default, it just made sense. The transportation is such a critical vendor, supplier to all of our family of businesses that in 1973 we said it makes sense that this should be part of the Chief family of businesses.
I think when we're out there recruiting drivers today and stuff, and we start to talk, we always tell them Chief Carriers is so much more. It's not your average truck line. And here's why, because we're tied into this manufacturing piece, and it really intrigues the drivers, the potential drivers, and they start to see the full picture come together. And why wouldn't I want to belong to a carrier that also has that built-in freight? You know, it's from their perspective, they're always worried about miles and income. It's a great way to help guarantee some of that for the drivers.
You know, great point. And I think when you look at it from a carrier's perspective, so if I was looking at this company, that's the first thing I'd say is that, you know, all industries have ups and downs, and you know, you're going to weather that in the course of your business life cycle. But the one thing that we always protect and make sure that we have it covered is the fact that we have all this product that we need to bring in and all this product that we need to ship out. And at the end of the day, we're going to make sure that Chief Carriers is taken care of with that. We're not going to outsource that out without taking care of our own family first. And so I think there's a little bit of insulated feeling with that. And then you couple that with what I believe is truly a family feel. You know, we have about 1,500 employees across the board at Chief, but it truly is a family. All the business units are connected one way or another. And so you're not just jumping on with a carrier, you're jumping on with a family.
Right. And again, we talk to these drivers, and it feels like the best of both worlds, and that's kind of how we describe it with them. When you think about the overall size of Chief Industries, roughly 1,500 employees, and then you bring it back in and you're telling them, hey, we're a truck line, but we're only about 100 trucks, somewhere in that neighborhood and stuff. So it's the best of both worlds. They get the big company feel, all the benefits and the perks that go along with that, but yet the small family feel as well.
You know, you nailed it. And one thing that we say at Chief is we're never going to be the biggest. We don't aspire to be the biggest. That's not our MO. Our mission is we're driven to be the best. And that's an everyday drive, truly an everyday drive. It's kind of it's a journey that you never quite accomplish. And so I think because of that, you know, we're not a publicly traded company that's worried about quarterly results. I think we can take the long-term approach that's really centered around the stakeholder, and our employees are the center that circle of stakeholders. And so we're driven to be the best each and every day.
Yeah, I think about that privately owned and what that means to the drivers, and we certainly push that out. Well, let's talk about, you talked about wanting to be the best. Talk about our people, our culture, some of those things.
Yeah, so when I say the best, I look at our people, and it's going to sound biased, and that's okay. I feel comfortable saying that. They are the best. They're driven for continuous improvement at all of our business units, and that's just not Chief Carriers. That's the entire company. And I think our mission really drives us as a company, and our mission is really centered on the stakeholders, and I mentioned that earlier, and that's our communities, that's our employees, that's our suppliers, it's all these things. But at the end of the day, make no mistake about it, our employees drive this company. We're celebrating 70 years in business because of that stakeholder right there.
That's right. So I was fortunate enough to join the company in 2018. Been in transportation my entire adult career and stuff, but the ability to come into a smaller company and help form, what it is today, and be able to recruit the right kind of people in has just made an absolute difference, I think, in overall when we talk about safety and the quality of the employee we're able to hire. Talk a little bit about safety and how important that is, not only for carriers, but industries as a whole.
Yeah, I will. I'll touch on safety in just a minute, but I want to go back to your part. You're probably one of the most humble people I know. And, the other thing about Chief is our leadership is, I believe, is as strong as it's ever been. And we have phenomenal leaders, and certainly you've done an incredibly impressive performance in that area, and your passion for people is infectious. And so it's people such as yourself that get us to 50 years. With respects to safety, whether, we're manufacturing, we're trucking, we're construction, all the things that we deal with are really serious business. I mean, you have to have your mind on task, because at the end of the day, what we do, it's serious and it matters. And so if you're not safety oriented, it doesn't work. It's got to be safety number one, safety number two, and oh, by the way, safety number three.
That's right. And I kind of go back to that too. It's like when we have a company that is so well put together and synergistic with each other and stuff, I thought from my perspective, it really allows us to focus on things like safety, hiring the right people and stuff. It's been so fun to build this business into what it is. It's really, you've been able to give me the platform that I needed to be successful. And that came from that history of Chief Carriers and Chief Industries.
Well, that's great. I've got one mission of my own, and that's to stay out of people like you, stay out of your way, and let you all perform. And you guys did incredibly well. And I think at the end of the day, it really is, I always say this, and I those in the company are probably tired of hearing me say this, but business is people, and people mean business. And so at the end of the day, when you've got a great group that's dedicated and committed, it makes it pretty easy on a guy like me.
To learn more about Chief Carriers, the link to our website is below in the show notes.